Kweshunga family, welcome to this episode of Kweshunga. I am your host, Penelope Sanyu, and I am delighted to host you today. Oh my goodness, I have been loving this series. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, we're running a series called The Saucepans Are Leaking. Side joke, so one of the guests said that the saucepans are not leaking, that they have poured at the point where we are, they are irreparable, but we shall get into that and figure out how we can patch these saucepans up and try to understand what's going on. The saucepans are leaking because our mother-daughter relationships are a bit shaky, and for some of us they are non-existent, for some of us they are extremely great, but there are things we could work on to do better at. And so today I'm hosting a lovely daughter and her mother, and I can't wait to delve into this conversation because the juice that we're going to squeeze out of this one is too good. You want to stay here and learn so much from my guests. Welcome with me, Miss Kecho and Miss Kayla. Thank you so much for coming to Kweshunga. I am so glad that you're here. I will ask our guests to introduce themselves because introducing them, I will do them so much injustice. So we'll start with you, Miss Kecho. Please tell us who you are, what you do, and actually why you're here. Yeah, why are you here?
Okay. My name is Denise Kechimuri, but my friends call me Kecho. I am a perinatal bereavement advocate. It's a lot of words, but
there's
just...
no way I will say that word without biting my tongue.
Okay. So I'm just here advocating for the rights of parents who have lost their babies.
Okay.
For better care.
Okay. That's simpler for us because what perinatal, what?
Yes. It's big words, Munange. But the doctors will get it. Yes.
The English is
Englishing.
Englishing.
It's Englishing properly. I'm here because first of all, when we had this conversation, I was like, I want to be on this show.
Yeah.
I need to be on this show because there's also some things I want to talk about.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I have fumbled through raising this person. But at the core of me is just to speak my truth and be honest and transparent as possible.
Yeah.
So I wanted to share that with you all.
I love that. I love that. And honesty and truth and transparency is what we are here for because, again, like I said, so many relationships are struggling, and I know that you and Kayla have such a beautiful relationship, which we are going to hear about. And there are some young girls or even older girls who are out there saying, how can I have this relationship with my mom? So I'm excited to hear both your stories and your different perspectives and your disagreements and your joys and everything that makes you happy. So it's your turn, my dear. Who is Kayla? What does she like?
So my name is Kayla Keishemiza. I'm 15. I like sports, like basketball and football. Yeah.
15. Oh my God. I'm going to. I don't even. If I say my age, if I say it, we shall break the internet. So I'm not going to talk about how old I am. But thank you so much for coming to the show. Why are you here? Why did you come? Why did you agree to come with mommy?
It's the assumption I agreed.
You did agree. I love that. So mommy bullied you into coming here.
Not really bullied me. But yeah, I'm here to talk about my mom and our relationship.
Okay. What is that like? What is it like having her for your mom?
It's nice because like most of my peers when they talk about their parents.
Yeah. Like, did you read into that side? It has
many things.
Paragraphs and paragraphs. Please go on.
It's very worrying. But I'm happy I have a mom like her.
What does that mean? Can you debunk that for me? When you say a mom like her, what does that mean? What does she do that makes you happy to have her for your mom? Or what is exciting you about your relationship?
That's a good question. So let me give you an example. Let's say I'm supposed to wake up early today. I'm supposed to wake up early. So you know that thing when your parents wake you up, but then you first go back to sleep for 5 minutes.
Yes.
So you see, normal people, if they do that, they get slapped out of bed. But me, no. they just wake me up again. So yeah.
Nice. I love that. So my mom, I was the queen of stories at home because I had a reason for everything. My mom would wake us up and then I would put my head on the pillow and as if in kneeling position, the child pose, and I would say, I'm praying. Yeah? I'd say, I'm praying, and then they would wake everybody else up and me, I'm there. They're like, she's praying, let's just say, and she'll be like, you're not really praying, you're sleeping, because the time is now fast spent. But it would not be the gentle wake up again. The next time you will wake up with a third, either some water pouring on you or something. So I'm glad that she does that. That's really gentle parenting, and I'm going to ask her why she chose to parent gently, because I do not think you were parented gently, Kecho, were you? That's another long sigh.
First of all, I wasn't an easy child. But no, my mom, I think by the time she had 4, so there are 3 before me, 4, plus my adopted sister. But by the time she reached me, she was just really tired. Like me and Hinda are totally different. Even when we are speaking with our last
Hinda is her brother.
Our last born. Sorry. So yeah. They're like, you guys, I don't know who was on your side, who raised you, but for us, we were in some kind of system, right?
You have to be aligned.
Yes, now here came Kecho, Miss Happy, Miss Time will wait for me, Miss, yeah? And you didn't used to rush me, and then I was forever asking 10, 100,000 questions. So my mom kind of did the whole, she's going to figure this out. I will just put the systems in. If she misses the bus, she will walk to school. If she, things like that. So, but there are things she didn't tell me. My mom passed away, and I went in 2014, and I was like, okay, you know how you're like, okay, I'm old, but there are certain things that I went through, and I had to sit down with my sister to reconcile, because I was like, but what was going on? And she said, you have to understand that she was also
learning.
Yes. So I made sure when I had Kayla, because I had Kayla when I was young. Everyone who looks at me is like, so she's 15, how old are you?
We are not going to talk about this side of
he did math, but all his math was like, I gave birth to Kayla when I was 13. I said, because in your head I'm 28. It's like, you cannot go over there. It's like, you have put me low. So when I had Kayla, I purposed, I was like, from get-go, even how I parented her from when she was a baby, toddler, Kayla talked at 9 months.
Child, you're a superstar.
And not give me, not dad, it was, I want that. Because I told everyone around her, no baby talk. We speak to her like an adult. Yes. So she picked up very easily, and I was like, now you can communicate. Because we came up in that whole be seen, not heard. And now for me, that was very hard. Because my words are like 10,000 in a minute. So and my mom gave me, I thank God that she gave me that space. But then now you would go to your aunties and they first pull you aside. Now, we are here. You keep quiet. I was like, no, the rules are different. Why?
What are we hiding?
So then you'd be there, then your mouth just, it does that thing where you just say things which you're not supposed to say, and the eye you are giving. So I said, you know what, I want my daughter to be as open as possible. So I've raised her like that. Yes, it has beaten me in the butt, because it does come back, but I'd rather she tells me than
not tell you.
Because most of the things where I blundered, I learned by myself, and I had wished my mom had said,
told you something about it.
So I do, but it's not gentle parenting all through. There are certain things that I'm a stickler for, and Kayla, I think she thinks there's a duality, but there are certain things which I feel if she doesn't get right, especially being a girl, the world is going to slap her left, right, center, and there's expectations. Because I keep telling her we are in a world which was not designed for us, so we have to force ourselves into it.
So you mentioned you've mentioned so many beautiful things, and I feel like when they serve a meal and you're like, I want the meat, I want everything. So you talked about being raised from a generation that emphasized being seen and not heard, and here we are sitting on a table hearing
Yes.
each other. What kinds of things do you guys talk about? What are your conversations like? What are the limitations of your conversations? None.
We don't.
You talk about everything and anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. and-
Wow.
Yeah. It's a thing. It was a rule from when she was young. When she would go to visit her cousins, come back, we unpack
Talk
the
through
entire
that,
visit. Then she's like, they did this instead of this. So that I think the last time was at the Jethro's when you went to church. Yeah, and then she came and she's like, so I want to go to church. I told her, you first sit down. I give you my version of why this thing, I am the one struggling with it. If you want to go, you find a church and you go. And she was like, okay. How? I said, no, you don't have to go with your parents because now you're old enough, you can go by yourself. And she's always done that. She's always come to me to consult or more like ask, and then now make up her own decisions. So Kayla is like an old soul though, but she was like a community baby.
Old soul in a little body.
Very little body. But she, even people who sit down with her like 15, I'm like, yeah, that's it. But I think even me, I wouldn't handle a child who's...
No, but
It
that
would be very
comes from
frustrating.
you've empowered her, right?
I'm trying.
From her childhood, you've given her the tool to say your voice is a powerhouse. Your voice is a powerhouse that you can put out there and that you can shine your light for other people to even learn from you. And I love that. I love that so much because for me, sadly, you could not question certain things. It was
She wanted to eat a hand.
exactly right. Like if it has been said, the rules are A, B, C, D. You don't question whether they work for everyone. You don't. I was the questioning child and I pushed back, but even that had its own limitations. There are certain lines you would not cross because you know full well that if I say this thing, they will take it lightly, but it will be, the consequence is there, the punishment is going to be there, and the punishment was usually heavier than what I wanted, so I would rather not say something about it. What things are you uncomfortable talking about with mom, if at all? You said you talk about anything, but I know that there are some things that are really uncomfortable. It's a hard question, yes. Okay, let me rephrase it. So I know there are things you've talked about with mom that before you felt were so difficult. Like, I can't have this conversation with my mom. But then when you did have the conversation with her, you are like, oh, it's not that complicated. She's actually got an opinion on this and it's not what I envisioned she would have. Something like that.
No, not really.
Should I say?
Yeah.
Should I say?
Yeah.
Okay. So we don't call them the bees and the birds. We have sex talks.
Okay.
So
What?
sex talks.
How old are you again? Because I am... I was going to say my age now. You're tricking me. At my big age, my mother cannot talk sex to me. So I don't know.
It's something I feel our moms didn't do well.
Yeah.
And I told Dora when I had, because boys, it's over, it's DNA, I don't know, they have it. Girls, we just kind of just fall in the thing and then you don't know
You're supposed to figure it out as an adult
and
or
then
as
there's
a
all
teenager.
these things.
All these things happening to your body.
Yes,
You don't know what's
so
going on.
we first started with bad touches. That was Dora. Auntie Dora took them through that. Then they had
Hi,
that
Auntie Dora.
Then they had that conversation. Now from there, because she had already laid a perfect foundation. So like now even their kids, when they want to talk, they are like, go to Auntie Kicho. This is where she thrives. And I think I have always been that person who's very open. Even with my friends, I'll just tell them, no. This cannot, or this is how. So with Kayla, and she just her eyes come out and you can feel like she's like, swallow me. But I'm like, Kayla, you will thank me, because when some little boy comes up to try and confuse you, you're going to be like, no.
That's I've had a different
my
version.
mother did not, and then no, it's not how it's supposed to be. And also just to see yourself, because she had body images. Kayla's been told kind of lanky, and she just does things. In my head, I'm like, Kale, God knew who to give height. Had it been me.
All that time. Had it been me, I wouldn't talk to any of you.
I promise you would be across the road and I'm like, Mujebale. Yeah, so I feel that she has the height, so if you have it, flaunt it. But she doesn't, and there's something about our body image and how we carry ourselves, and it starts from our 14, 15 there. You get very curious. You get you go inward, like you're not proud of what it is, and then by the time you reach like some of our ages, it's already too.
You're irredeemable.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
No, I like that you talk about sex, the sex with your child, and you talk about all these things that were taboo and forbidden for us. Yeah. When I got my first period, I thought I was going to die. I literally thought I was going to die. I was in P7. I remember that day so vividly because I was in the bathroom and I realized my period had come and I didn't know what to do. I thought please hear me out. I had been told, if you talk to a boy, see a boy, near a boy, you're going to die. Yes. And I had just been talking to boys outside the gate. Now here I am in the bathroom. I have blood. I'm dying. Yeah. I'm dead. In fact, what's going on? How do I even say this thing? I couldn't even go to my mom to say. I couldn't go to my mom to say, this strange thing is happening to me.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. I went to a neighbor. We had a neighbor called Aunt Florence. And I went to Aunt Florence and I told her I'm bleeding. I talked to a boy and now I'm bleeding. Yes. Please, this is not 1900. This is recently here. And that's what I knew. But that's because we never had that kind of conversation. Now imagine me telling my mom about sex or about, and I get that today there's also the camp that says, in telling kids about these things, you're spoiling them. Yes, that's one of the reasons we don't even have a sexuality, comprehensive sexuality education framework, because it's been said that if we give kids education on sexuality and sexual education, we are teaching them to go and have sex and play sex like the people in that generation. Yeah. You're playing sex. So, where do you draw the line? Yeah. Between too much information and too little information and what my child can take?
I think it's age-wise. So as they grow, they get more. Kayla has always had that curious mind. But, Penny, do you remember, even my dad would pass you on the road, but you'll be walking with a boy. He would stop. Hello, whose child are you? I'm like, don't make it such a, I don't know how to take
a showstopper. Yes, it's not a thing. It's not a news item.
And then that's the thing. Let me tell you, I've just been disappointed ever since. I was like, this thing that they're keeping a secret, it's like for 2 to 3, 5 minutes. We're done. But
okay,
the thing that I need, sorry. But the thing we need to now, and what it is that I give Kayla the information is, the relationship, that what you're trying to build. Do you see it? This thing it's a dot in the entire, so there are times when I'm there and she'll say, Mom, you've traumatized me. So you remember the one of having babies? Okay. Yeah. So she'll say.
So wait. Mom traumatizes you sometimes, right? You feel like she's killing you with information. Your entire life. Oh my God. Now you've had.
Yes, but I think it's the thing of she will process it. Yes. Right? Because most of the things she'll take time and then she's like, okay, so she'll call me like when you're talking about your periods, we prepared for this thing. Yeah. I would sit her down. I was like, now the egg. We went from science to how you're going to feel. Yeah. And then I was also going through my own discovery of what I had gone through, what condition I was dealing with. So I was telling her, Kayla, this thing is genetic. So once you get your periods, we are going to see the doctor so that we manage this thing early. Okay. I figured out my condition when I was 38, right? And I was like, Nayemwe. If I had known this, I would have been in some sports when I was young. So I've pushed her in that direction to try and now start learning about her body. Like this is, so she knows things like cortisol, adrenaline. Those are things we sit and we are like,
talk about
yes.
openly.
And then I'm like, your sugar levels are dropping, and she gets it. My mother just be like, you are lazy.
You just want to sleep the whole day.
I'm like, friend, there's a whole cycle going on around me. Explain it to me. And I don't know. I'm for. So on the comprehensive, I just feel that give it to them. You can't actually.
You can't decide what's comprehensive for them and what's not. I don't think
and then there's the other thing that they will look for it, and what they'll find will be so often.
They have so much access. So what you're calling limiting information, they already have it out there, and other kids are teaching them.
Thank you. So the other kids are telling you this is what it is, and I always tell Kayla, I'm your source. Point of reference will be me. I will not have this whole. And I felt maybe I was doing a projection from, because I kept thinking my mother had that thing of, there's a book you can read. I read many books, by the way. When you sit me down to ask me, I have. But practicality is a problem.
I don't know someone going through this practically.
Like if I knew that.
You were saying something, sweetheart.
You to read lists.
She gives you to read lists from hers.
She has a to read list in the corner. The books.
So Kayla, are there things that you struggle with when it comes to being Kecho's daughter?
Waking up in the morning.
What is that? Like she wakes you up early?
Not all the time.
All the time?
No, it's not all the time. Because I like sleeping.
Okay.
But I also don't like
we
sleeping.
all do. I'm your twin.
So I don't like sleeping.
Exactly, your twin. I understand you, dear. So tell me more about that. What does mom do that irritates you?
Okay, maybe like if I'm sleeping and she just comes in my room, opens the curtain.
This thing is.
So now the light
is blinding you.
Burns.
It burns. Are you a vampire? What are we on? So, no, Kayla, Shemeza, listen to me. This is not
gosh, I shouldn't be laughing, but this is so funny because you know what you did there? It just reminded me of us. Again, your mom is a different generation from you, and so we never even had the chance to wait for the curtains to be opened because
you were the one opening.
Because she'll be like, why are you still sleeping in my house? Why? So this curtain opening thing, what else besides her waking you up with the curtains? Is there anything else? Kecho, are there any things that you're struggling with your daughter or parenting her and raising her as a daughter that you would like to share with us?
Yes, I'm very opinionated.
She's very opinionated, or you are? Or you're telling us one thing you're complicated about. Nice, tell me about that.
Okay, so the thing is, this generation we have this thing called an opinion, and it's sometimes seen as attitude. Sometimes it is attitude, but we have that problem in common.
Does mommy say some things and you sometimes be like, moving on, switching on a song in my head?
Yes.
I can't hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also used to do that. So we are not so far apart. You're 15, but I am also close there. I'm around 18. Kecho, tell us.
So I think parenting Kayla has been learning curve for me. So when she was born, it was really crash course, guys. I came out of uni with a degree and a baby.
Yeah, well done. Thank you very much.
Yeah. My mother would tell people like it was the accomplishment. So I was too young. I feel I was too young.
Yeah.
You know, your dreams are like now. We are going out. No, friend.
You have a baby.
You have a baby. You have someone who is dependent on you. And I keep telling her, Kayla, I have raised you, but there are many other people who have held your hand. Yeah, they've held our hand as we move along. So 8 to 12 was where the higgy hugger started.
Of course, changes are happening.
The thing is seeing your child form themselves.
Yeah.
I think last year was very hard for us because she was going to a new school. She was going to boarding, first of all. And everyone is like, oh my God, you took her to Ginger. I'm like, yeah, let's test this. I mean, if we're going to challenge ourselves, let's go. How far can we go? Of course, there is this, she would call me every other day. And I'm like, Kayla, now we have to stop this. Kayla. Shemesh.
I called you once a week. Yeah, once a week.
Kayla, we go and pull out Teacher Jolly's call logs. Yeah. Till I told her, you know what, now
It's okay to call all the time.
Find your tribe, make your friends there. Yeah. Because now I'm too far to even come to do what. So there's a time she called me, I'm just checking on you. I said, wow, this is where we have reached. Yeah. Okay, this is good. Yeah. So, but as last year was really hard for us. And when I realized, I think I had to sit down with Z, a family friend, and she said, teenagers. And that's when it hit me. So I pulled books. Bambi, that kind was instilled in me. I got all the books for teenagers. I read. I was like, okay. So they are nocturnal. Let's start there. So during the day, energy levels, even if you try whether what or what,
we are shooting through the roof.
Then at night, when you are sleeping. Meanwhile, I am here. I am that person of 7 p.m. must find me in my house, in my bed, preferably, not wanting to move. Somebody here. Hello. I'm like, hello what? Hello go. So the same way she feels about the curtains. I used to leave my door open, everybody. No, now I just, I'm like, you deal with this thing on the other side. In the morning, we can talk about. True. Now, we are not seeing eye to eye on certain things. And then sometimes we have to sit down and say, okay, what's the problem?
What's going on? Yeah.
And I love that we can do that because I feel our mothers didn't have that. They were just now shouting at us all the time, and they're like,
shout, you resent them. The more they shout, you
something
become
so
more
small.
distant.
What has happened? Yeah. I just moved the cup here. What? Now and then there's menopause. There's many things going on in our lives. So just to have that openness, and for me it has always been a thing with Kayla because I feel we hid too much. And in that hiding we made so many mistakes. Not that I think we learned from them, but I would rather really my energy would have been
someone else doesn't go through the same thing,
and I didn't want her to go through that as well. So there are certain things like, of course, it's the talking back because I've given her too much. And
can I tell a story? So there's a time when I was 10. And she was shouting at me. Then she said, you just like hearing me shout. And then I smiled. and do you know what I said? Now you have no more words.
After smiling, you had disarmed her.
Now you have no more words. And she was angry because I was right.
And you know when you're screaming, then you're like, you just want me. There's no other sentence after that. Chahwa, it's the full stop. And I was like, I've done it so many times, she knows when I'm done. That's
no, but you see, the thing, the nuances are very, very different. And I know that there are people who are watching us and they're like, oh my God, what a difference, what a world of a difference. Because if you did that in my time, no, my mom never beat. No, she did not beat. But the whole clan is going to know how you tried to touch in her mouth, how you tried to beat her, how the girl thinks she has grown now, she can answer me. She is too much. So you don't want to deal with that drama of everyone knowing your business with your mom and everyone knowing, but you were just trying to express yourself. And then she's like, no. In life, you talked back at me, now you beat me. And she will drama, lie down and be like, you beat me and finish this kebi.
Then after that, they call you the clan. Do you know what this girl has done?
Exactly.
She has kicked me and I fell down the stairs.
So you don't want that kind of drama with your mom, and I'm glad that you two have found a way to solve those kinds of things. I'm going to ask us one last question because I feel like I love this relationship so much. You've given us so many nuggets on how to communicate and how to be easy on things and not to keep secrets. For me, the takeaway is don't keep secrets, because in as much as you feel like you're shielding your child from all these things, the undiscussables, you never show your child that you're hurting, you never show your child that you're crying, it's completely different. You can sit and have a conversation right now. one question for Kayla and then one question for you. I'll start with you, then I'll end with Kayla. For the people that are watching or listening to us, what is this one thing that you would say to people who are struggling with their daughters and want to heal this relationship? What things can they do to ease the relationship? Because I'm sure they are trying. I'm sure they are doing some things already. They are praying, they are calling on Jesus, they are hoping that the child will be groomed by the school, and I don't know what else. But what would be the advice you give to any mother out there who's struggling to parent a teenager?
Even me, I'm struggling. I don't understand that. No, but it's, I think people might be looking and saying, how is this possible? It's because I have one.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And Kayla and I have gone through some really rough patches.
Yeah.
And we, at a certain point, we were each other's support group.
Yeah.
There's a time I leaned on her and everyone was like, oh my God, it's too heavy
You're
for her.
overwhelming her.
You can't let her. And then I was like, nah, who else? We are the only two who are feeling this thing. We're the only two within each other's range who have gone through these traumas. We must, I don't know.
Lean on one support, find a way to comfort each other.
I feel out of that, we grew. Right? And then I was intentional. Then Penny.
Yeah, intentionality.
I don't know how to tell you this thing, that your children, first of all, they are this stage, they are going.
Yeah.
Because they have to, I don't know, it's like the toddlers when
like a transition, and
when your child gets that terrible tools, they're just literally looking and saying, how far can I go?
Yeah.
How far is far? Like me, when I was telling people, I was like, if we had phones when we were growing up, I wouldn't have anything to tell Kayla.
Yeah.
I'd just be like, Muna, life. Yeah, you let it teach you. But you have that, you also have to realize that we are now parenting ourselves while we are while we are parenting our kids. And there are things which you're going to project. If you know yourself, that thing of knowing yourself, being in touch with your subconscious and knowing that, okay, because daddy or mommy, actually because mommy used to be on my neck like this, and it used to irritate me. How do I not
do the same thing I hated
How
to
do
my
I get
child?
her to do this thing which shall help her? So we started this thing of highlights, lowlights. Every day, highlights, lowlights. Like what are you going through? Then at the end of that, we're like, how do we make tomorrow better?
Yeah.
So we go through these things, and somehow we've kind of now gotten into a routine. She knows when she wakes up, this is what we're going to do. Sometimes, of course, I'll repeat myself because I think as a parent, the brain switches. So this repetition thing it's there. You can sing the same song 101 times. But a friend of mine said, get one thing, whether it's do your best or unhammer it. So all through Kayla's life, we've had mantras. When she was young, it was peace and love. Then now she entered, where are we now? Now we are where?
I have
What was it? Was intentional? Focus? What was it? There we go.
Your intention, it's allowed to forget.
Intentional and focus.
Yeah.
That's it. So just hammer one, get one thing.
They can constantly repeat,
And they can, and they'll have it in.
constantly lean on.
So yeah, so it's one of those things. So like the peace and love, everyone who meets Kayla is like, oh my gosh, she's so kind, she's what? I'm like, those were 8 years from 0 to now. Yeah. So now we're hoping that this can push her to the next,
another
but you
level.
You cannot under any, just try and, if you try the control, you're going to get frustrated.
True.
Yeah.
Kayla, anything you want to say to people your age who are struggling with relationships with their moms? Anything you think they can do to improve as daughters?
I'd say talk to your parents, but
That bombastic side eye you just gave me.
but the way some of us talk to our parents, some of us are afraid of our parents. So thing is, you have to work on your boundaries and try to express it in a way that won't make it look like you're having attitude. Like try to talk to them about it and be like, okay, let's say that when they wake you up early, when you're not going to do anything, you go and you talk to them about it. You're like, I wanted to talk to you about why you wake me up early, even if I'm not going to do anything. Now, most people are going to give you, why are you still sleeping? So yeah, just try talking to them about
Set boundaries and try to talk about it. You know, your mom is the queen of kindness. She's the kindness ninja on the internet. On Twitter, we know her as the kindness ninja. And what I'm hearing you say here is that we need to practice kindness, both on ourselves and on our parents. And Kecho, you have summed it up really well and said that, you know, parents need to, one, listen and learn, because we are also learning. Be teachable. You don't have it all figured out, but learn. Allow for your child to teach you, but also allow for moments to be taught. Be patient, communicate clearly, smartly, and humbly, and say what you mean what you say. And I'm hearing that, you know, we need to both work on communicating better. We need to both work on communicating differently and communicating better. I am so amazed at your relationship. I am here saying, if I have a girl in the future, I shall have to come for lessons. You'll be much bigger, so you will teach us. And I saw that cringe. Don't worry, I'm not having a baby anytime now, but when the baby comes, I shall pick some of these lessons and learn. I am admirable. I love your relationship. I love it so much, because it makes me feel like some people are doing something right. And I know that some of you who are watching us are like, yes, I want what they have, and I can build on this thing. And even if our relationship has not been existent or has been struggling, we can patch up and pick some of the lessons they've shared and learn from what they have said. If you disagree with the things they said, please feel free to tell us so that we can challenge them to come back and defend themselves. But if you agree and you want to pick lessons or pick a leaf or a whole forest, we urge you to do that. Thank you so much for tuning in to Kweshunga this week. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.